Hello, hello, hello. Um, I guess we can go ahead and start. Um, and then as people come in, we should only still be on like the introduction slide, so people shouldn't miss anything. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Interpoint conversation. This is Interpoint called a conversation. I am Lauren Stenson.
Hi everyone, I'm Emma.
And then we also have our facilitator team, which we will introduce in just a couple minutes. So to start, we want to acknowledge a few people. I think
Yeah.
Emma's.
So as you can see, there's a lot of people on this slide. Definitely there are many more people who we couldn't mention by name because that would fill up an entire presentation, but we're really thankful to the Bonner Scholars Program for inviting us here to talk to you guys. We're also really thankful for our facilitators who are present today. They're super awesome. You'll get to meet them in a minute. And then we're thankful for the University of Richmond staff and faculty who've supported us throughout this journey. As well as Blake Stack, who you'll hear from in a minute. He is our wonderful faculty sponsor who has been our cheerleader, the van dad driving us all over the place, and also just kind of the best support staff you could have ever asked for. And then we're also super thankful for you guys for being here. It means a lot to us that you're interested in our work, so we hope that you benefit from today's program, and we certainly hope that you'll be interested in the work that we're doing.
So an overview of today's presentation, we're gonna give you guys a background of like our story and our mission. We'll introduce you to our team, work on or go through the Interpoint program with you on like what style we chose and why. And then we'll have like a little practice discussion. I hope you guys are prepared for that. It'll be fun, I promise. And then we'll teach you guys or explain to you guys how you can get involved if you desire to do so, which we hope you do. So a little bit about our story. So the concept came in the fall of 2018. Emma and I are both Richmond scholars, University of Richmond. We attended a scholar retreat together, and at the retreat, we were all getting to know each other and asking questions. And one night we got into like a really deep conversation, like started with like Tupac, and then it ended with like systematic racism and education system issues. And we realized that like the whole cabin was like in the same hallway talking to each other. And we realized a lot of racial conversations aren't necessarily hard, they're just scary. And that once you kind of dip a toe in or actually get a conversation going, you learn a lot about each other. And I realized it's not that hard to talk to people. And so later in that semester, we actually had a presentation where Beverly Tatum, which is the president of Spelman College, or the former president, she came to talk to our school about like segregation and like de facto segregation and why it occurs. And she talked about how a lot of times you have to have a conversation in order to kind of break those barriers down. And I looked around the room and there weren't people like talking. It was her talking at us. And I grabbed Emma after that meeting and I was like, you know what? We should just start a discussion series. And Emma was like, great, I love it, let's do it. And that was in September, October of 2018. We ended up meeting Blake in the Center for Civic Engagement, who works for Bonner. He is the assistant director of student engagement in the Bonner Scholars Program. And he worked with us from like that day until now. So here we are today. We worked for about a year before we actually got some concrete plans set in place, and about a year and a half before we actually had our first discussion, or a little bit over a year before we had our first discussion. And it went amazingly. Everyone loved it. And so we decided that we wanted to really get this going. And then we got the opportunity to talk to you guys, and that's how we got here today. So I want to open up for Emma to say something too.
So hi everyone, my name's Emma Johnson. I'm also a student at the University of Richmond. Lauren and I are both upcoming juniors. A little bit about myself and kind of my involvement with this program. As Lauren said, I got involved after she approached me after that really awesome discussion that Beverly Daniel Tatum had with the president of our university. So after that, I've just been on board helping Lauren organize and things like that, making sure that we all have a space to bounce our ideas off of each other. So really, really blessed to be part of this discussion series. as someone growing up in a predominantly white private Christian school for most of my life, these conversations were not things that we talked about in school. And so once I came to the University of Richmond, to kind of have one of those really deep discussions off the bat was really encouraging. And I've been so fortunate to be part of this, just in terms of how it's changed my own perspective and continues to challenge me to be an effective advocate for other people. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be involved with Interpoint. It's a huge blessing and a responsibility I don't take lightly. And I'm excited for you guys to kind of get an introduction to this program, and hopefully you'll be as excited about it as we are.
Yes, I definitely couldn't have said it better. So this is our facilitator team. This is a picture we took after our first discussion during our debrief session. We were really comfortable with each other, and I think this picture just shows that. That's why I like it so much. I like to introduce our facilitators, but I know I'm sharing my screen, so I don't know if you'll see them, but they're gonna wave when I say their names. So I'm gonna introduce them by team. We have Kaylin, who's from our website team. I can't see her, but I'm just gonna assume that she's waving somewhere. Then we have Rochelle from our social media team. And we have Megan from our marketing team. She's also with photography and videography. And then we have Anna from our chapter approval team, and Drew from finances, and then Michaela and Sai from our expansion team. Michaela is also on our chapter approval team and every other team. And then we have Susanna, Shira, and Lexi, who are all on our writing and editing teams. Yes. So I don't think I forgot anyone. I hope I did not forget anyone, but that's all our facilitators that are here today. We have, so a part of this I just said, there's more facilitators that we have on our team that are just not here for this presentation today. But shout out to all of our lovely people who have been supporting us and helping us to get to where we are today. Big shout out to Sophie, who's been working on our website, which we're gonna give you guys a little sneak peek information about at the end of this presentation.
All right.
So yeah, you got it.
Go ahead.
So for why Interpoint, like we said, as a part of our story, we felt like conversations about race weren't necessarily hard. They were just kind of scary. And we also think that they're very important. In order to have actual equity and equality, we have to understand what the other person goes through at all times. And you can't do that without building genuine relationships. And conversations are that gateway into doing so. We also believe that in college, it's the perfect time and place for students to start engaging in these conversations if they haven't done so at that point in their lives, because it's the peak right before you go into the real world. And at the same time, you're hopefully with a lot of other students that are at your disposal who are not like you. And so it's like the perfect time to challenge yourself, to get to know other people that you might not have gotten to know before, and to really challenge your education. Culturally, I think education is more than just in class. It's about being a better citizen, being a better person, knowing other people's cultures. And so that's kind of where we got the college idea from.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to add on at the very end, so when we're talking about cultivating leaders who are informed, I think one of the really awesome things that Interpoint does by changing your perspective is making sure that you cannot unsee what you've learned. You can't walk around and not see the systems that are oppressing people. You can't walk around and not see kind of like the segregation that might happen in a lunchroom or things like that. Interpoint definitely changes the way that you see the world. And we want that to happen. We want our leaders to see the world differently as a result of the work that we're doing. And so we hope that through this program, you guys will see how even the discussions that we have today will definitely open your eyes to maybe some things that you've heard about before and just don't know much more about, or some things that you really haven't heard about before.
I agree. Especially if we're talking about the Bonner Scholars Program. We've been working closely with Blake. I have some friends who are Bonners, and you guys are definitely some people who are dedicated to the community already. So I don't want to like talk down on you like you guys don't already care about, justice and equality and equity. But those are just like where we got our ideas from. We're sure that you guys have those same motivations. So that's probably why Interpoint would be perfect for you, but that's all I'll say. Yeah.
All right, so this is the mission and meaning of our organization. You probably have not heard of the word Interpoint before. We actually had not either. That was a marketing gift from someone who works in the Center for Civic Engagement. His name is Corey Shutter. And he did this really, really awesome job of encapsulating everything that we wanted our organization to stand for in the word Interpoint. And so you can see in red really what our mission is. I think it's really important to point out that we do see color. We're not advocating for being colorblind. We believe that people have different experiences and that it's important to recognize why those experiences are different. But we want to make sure that we are confronting each other in a way that's going to help us challenge our existing worldviews and learn more from each other. Sometimes that is uncomfortable, we recognize that, but we ask people to be vulnerable and honest because we believe that that's the best way for learning. So if you want to, you can go ahead and read the definition there. I'm not going to read the whole thing out to you, but that really is what the heart of our organization is.
So in addition to that, while you're reading or just after you've read for a second, Interpoint, I like the name so much because one thing that Emma and I talked about when we were meeting with Corey about finding a name is that we didn't want people to feel like they had to come to this organization, to this group for discussion, and give up their personal beliefs or feel like some beliefs that people have can be kind of insulting, or you might feel like you're not being heard. But the point of Interpoint isn't to change someone else's opinion. It's not to call them out. It's to say, hey, this is what I believe. I'm coming here right now today to hear what you believe, and then maybe we can find some middle ground in our understanding of each other's beliefs. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to change your beliefs. So that's why I like Interpoint so much. Like, we're coming together to meet in the middle, build a potential bridge of conversation, of relationship that we can function with and move forward on, but not necessarily that you have to change your opinion. So our discussion structure, we use the roundtable model to encourage active participation. We like it, like we do small groups and where everyone shares. We really want that person-to-person contact. Right now we're on Zoom, but we will, for our practice discussion, we'll be breaking out into breakout rooms so you guys can get some personal conversation going. We like that it's over a shared meal. We like something that brings the group to a central focus, and we think that food really does that for people a lot of the time. In that, our small groups are strategically designed. So we actually, for the first discussion that we had, we asked people at the door how to identify. And so racially or culturally, we had a spreadsheet, and it was pretty interesting to see how it went the first time, because we had so many people that we weren't expecting, that we wrote down like what they said they identified as, and we intentionally mixed them up accordingly. So each of the groups was pretty mixed, pretty diverse racially and culturally, which was intentional, and that was by design, because we wanted everyone who came to actually hear other people's experiences from different backgrounds than them. We also didn't want people who were friends just to come, click up, sit down, not listen to other people. We wanted to kind of like strip everyone down to like who they were, so they could really be vulnerable and then understand where other people were coming from as well. And then in doing that, we think it's important to have peer conversations. So for our discussions, they're all student to student. And then if faculty is interested in it, we would be definitely okay with that. But it would probably be faculty to faculty as well, because we don't want any power structures, power dynamics messing up people's ability to be vulnerable in the conversation. And then for the question topics, we focus them on, inclusivity, current events, personal background. They're also intentional. We want them, and the depth of the questions and the topic of the questions are all intentional. We kind of want it to be a positive experience for people, not just talking about something controversial and then leaving and hoping that they, don't get too down about the situation. We want people to leave like, okay, like I can do something about this situation if I just keep working at it. Emma, did you want to add something to that?
No, it's all good. All right. So at our discussion, as Lauren mentioned, we had a lot of people end up coming. We expected much less than actually came, but we were very happy with the turnout. It was definitely a good problem to have. So we had over 200 people that attended, and then you'll see some statistics coming up on the screen here. So we had an exit survey that we gave everyone that came. We had about 89 people respond to that. And so these are some really awesome outcomes that we had from the survey, of people who were responding very positively to the work that we were doing. You can see here that 100% of survey respondents said that Interpoint made them more likely to participate or initiate conversations about race, which I think is probably my favorite statistic of the ones on this slide. I think it's really important because it shows that our program is working. It is making people more comfortable discussing these ideas, and it is making people more likely to go ahead and discuss them just outside of Interpoint. And that really is our goal, is to get people talking. And so I think the fact that we've got that 100% from the people that were surveyed, that really makes a huge difference. And then we also can see here that our program is effective in discussing race and inclusivity. So on the 98% statistic, that is really important as well, because it shows that the questions we're formulating are stimulating discussion and are making people think about what we want them to think about. And then you can see the other statistics on this slide. You'll see some more in following slides, but these are the ones that we just wanted to kind of include for you guys.
Yes. So one important misconception that we wanted to talk about was that Interpoint was just for Black people or for white people. A lot of times in the US, at least when we talk about race, there's like a unspoken rule that we're referring to Black people or to white people. And I think that's a misconception that we need to break down, and we do with Interpoint. And the statistics shows that when we were advertising on campus and putting up flyers and tabling, we had international students come to us asking like, can I come to this too? Or is it just for like you guys? Like, I do want to talk about race, but I don't want to impede on a conversation. And we made it very clear that Interpoint is for everyone. We think that everyone has something to learn when they come to the table. We think that it's not just a white and Black issue. I think it's an injustice issue. It's a learning issue. It's an educational issue, an immersion issue. And so this graph shows that we had a pretty good mix of other respondents to the survey of people from all different backgrounds, that this actually shows that. And in saying that, it wasn't just the majority white people either. It was 46% white. We actually had 54% of students of color, with a pretty good distribution within that statistic. And we're really proud of that, because it means that we actually did target the right people and everyone, and show that it's not just Black people's issue, but it's a humanity issue.
And then this is another one of the statistics that we pulled from our survey. One of the things that we ran up against is people saying, oh, well, no one who's older is going to come to that. They're not going to care. Definitely burnout and kind of the senior slide is real for a lot of people. And so people were kind of telling us, well, don't get your hopes up. You might not really have as many seniors and juniors as you want. But actually, you can see by this graph, the majority of people who attended actually were seniors. We also had a good turnout from all of our first year students, our sophomores, and then our junior class as well. So we're really pleased with that. We also feel like it's important to mix age ranges, just because people have different experiences and different maturity levels as they get older. And so again, this is another one of those things where we were able to kind of bust that misconception of who was going to come to our event.
Yeah. I think it's important to talk about burnout, because a lot of times as people of color, if you're like really strong with an issue coming into college, like specifically, you're like really encouraged, and then like sophomore year, you don't see much change. And then junior year, you realize you're about to go into the real world and you're like, this is not my problem anymore. We wanted to actually do the groundwork so that people could come to the discussion and not feel like they had to like do too much work to get there or to make it happen. We wanted to do all the work beforehand so people could actually come and enjoy the conversation. And I think the statistic shows that it's a problem for everyone. It's not just, a freshman problem, and it's not just a senior problem. Okay, so now we're about to go into our breakout rooms. I think, are we ready, Blake? Okay, so our facilitators have the questions that we will be discussing. I think Emma will also read them out really quickly to you guys. But just something that I wanted to say before you guys go into the breakout rooms is that we like to keep Interpoint about personal experience, and we don't want to negate anyone's personal experience. And we know that race can be politically charged, and you guys are honors, so we trust you guys to have a productive conversation, but we want to make sure that you guys keep it to like I statements. So we're gonna go over a few rules first. So listen actively to each other. Don't just be waiting for someone to stop talking so that you can chime in. And then avoid judgment. We want everyone to feel like they can be vulnerable. Use I statements. Don't like be accusatory in what you say. And then we like everything to remain confidential. So with that being said, if you see something, if you hear something that's like super like moving to you and you want to share that after, I think that's fine, but I don't think it would be important for you to share someone's identity when you do so. They can remain anonymous in that. We're not here to do anything except build positive reciprocal relationships with each other. Our foundation has to be kindness, respect, and vulnerability in order for what we've been working on to actually work properly. So we want to say that before you guys go.
Cool. Okay, so Blake has organized all of you guys into breakout rooms for the discussion series. So you will have one facilitator in each of your rooms who's leading that discussion. We also would ask if you could maybe have like, I don't know, 7 or 8 people stay behind.
No, I think we're going to the breakout rooms.
Oh, wait, okay.
The recording follows the host. We're all good.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, that was an issue we thought we'd have with the breakout rooms. Never mind. I will go ahead and read off the questions for you guys. Your facilitators have the questions as well, but I'm gonna go ahead and read them anyways. All right, so we have 3 questions and you're gonna have 30 minutes to answer these questions. Your facilitators will be guiding you throughout the experience, making sure that everyone stays on track. And then after those 30 minutes, we're going to come back into the main session and then we'll finish out our presentation. So the first question is, tell a story of when you first thought or learned about your race, ethnicity, and nationality, and was it tied to inequity or inequality at all? How did you feel? The second question, what are your thoughts and feelings about the current racial climate in our country? Have these feelings changed since that first encounter you had with your race, ethnicity, nationality, and inequality? And then the last question, as we said, we always like to end on a positive note. Do you ever feel like you aren't doing enough? And what can you do to change that? So those are our 3 questions. We're going to go ahead and send you guys to breakout rooms now. Best of luck. We hope you enjoy your discussion, and we'll see you back here in 30 minutes.
Yes, and you don't have to remember the questions. Your facilitators have them, so don't worry. They're going to read them again as you go through the discussion. We just wanted to give you guys a heads up.
All right, y'all, I'm going to hit the open all rooms, and then you can accept the room that you're in. And again, you'll have an Interpoint discussion facilitator inside that room with you. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. So I hope that your sessions went well. We're gonna give people some time to come back to this main session. I think, is everyone back? Okay, it's climbing. There we go. Thank you all for being here today and for participating in the breakout rooms. I hope that you guys had some conversation that you are proud of, that was beneficial to you. We just have a few more slides left. You guys ask some questions and we will send you about your day. Is Emma back in the session?
Yes, I'm here.
There we go. So we have ways to get involved. So a lot of people were talking about how you are interested and you would like to do work like we're doing right now. There's multiple ways that you can get involved if you want to do so. The first way, you can host an Interpoint discussion with students, faculty, friends, with your family. I heard a lot of people say that they want to talk to their family about it. In addition to doing so, you can start a chapter of Interpoint on your campus, which is what we're hoping some of you are interested in doing. With that being said, we have a link that I will send in the chat that will allow you guys to just put your personal information in if you would like more information, and we will send you information as soon as we get it. We also have a website coming out soon. You can sign up with your email on that link and follow our Instagram. We will also be posting the website link in our bio once our website launches, which we are excited to tell you guys about. And you can donate on our website as soon as that comes out. So for our website sneak peek, we have a join us tab once you guys see it. which will give you guys access to materials once you actually join. You access to the materials that will help you to have a conversation with your family members, to start a chapter, etc. We have a newsletter coming out. I know some people talked about having the resources to talk about these things. In the newsletter, we'll have a question of the month. We will also have recommended literature, like a book reading list, and highlighted news stories so everyone can stay connected with what's going on. And then Emma, if you want to take the rest of that.
Yeah. So we also have the facilitator list and information. Excuse me. So we'll have all of our facilitators up there. We'll kind of have a speed dating function where you'll kind of mouse over the facilitators and you can see who we are, all of our backgrounds. And then if you're interested, you can email us and we'll connect you with a specific facilitator. So I know that you might decide that you want to go with a specific facilitator based on their background or something that they've included in their bio. And so definitely once you email us, we'll go ahead and connect you with those people so you can start figuring out what exactly it is that you want to do at your school and how you would like to make a change. We also, as we said, we have that tab for possible donations. So we all are student run and we do have a website that we have to pay for. So we'd super appreciate any donations that you might have. I know that financially times are hard, but anything that you can contribute makes a huge difference. So we wanted to put that out there. And then we also, as we mentioned, have an Instagram run by the lovely Rochelle and the social media team. So follow our Instagram and you can definitely use the link in that chat, which I know that they're getting kind of working right now to go ahead and look at your updates. So if you're interested, let us know. We certainly want to expand this to as many schools as we possibly can. We hope that you've been encouraged by the discussion you've had today, and definitely we hope that you want to continue that discussion at your own schools. And so we'd highly encourage you to think about starting a chapter of Interpoint. As we mentioned, we have a whole team working to make sure that that process goes as smoothly as it can for you guys. Lauren and I and the facilitator team have been through it all before, and so we can definitely give you our tips and tricks for making sure that starting an organization goes smoothly at your university when we can. So that's kind of just all about that. Lauren, do you have anything else you want to add?
I would say to follow our Instagram, it's at interpoint.ur. Our email is, and this is going to be recorded and posted in case you forget, our email is interpoint.ur@gmail.com for right now. We will post our website information as soon as we finalize everything, which I'm excited for, and I think you guys should be excited for too. And we will post the link into our Instagram bio. If you're not on social media, we'll make sure to send you the link with the emails that you provide in the survey that we added into the chat that I hope is working now. And are there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. What about sustainability? Given that the founders of this are still at University of Richmond, how do you see sustainability happening? Are you tied in with maybe the Student Government Association or the university itself in terms of infrastructure? How do you see sustainability happening?
Well, we actually love that question. When we got invited to talk at this conference and we started talking about it, we really started to kind of think about structurally how we work. We will continue. We actually have an expansion team, which Michaela here is a part of, where we're researching to figure out what exactly it will look like for us once we graduate. We are connected as a student organization right now, but that is not solely our only connection. Like, Interpoint can exist outside of University of Richmond, and that's how we plan to have chapters on other campuses and things like that. But we are currently doing research to figure out the best mode of action. We didn't want to jump into it. We thought about nonprofit, LLC, things like that moving forward, but we don't want to rush it because we want to make sure that whatever we do decide is the best for us and for all the other chapters potentially that decide to start up from this, if that answered your question. So we're doing research to figure out the best way to do so. So we're starting small with school campuses. We might potentially go to things we've been thinking about are working in the workplace, like going to corporate America settings, or also like Interpoint at home. So Interpoint at work, Interpoint at school, Interpoint at home. Those are like our really long-term goals once we finalize everything, which we have people working on right now. So thank you for asking that question.
I suggest that you look at pdcc.org, Public Dialogue and Deliberation, Oh gosh, maybe I'll just send you the link. It's a whole consortium of people who do public dialogue and deliberation, and it's a great national and international network. So they have great models and resources and all sorts of things.
Thank you.
Public dialogue and deliberate, and I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Yeah. One thing that I will add, Lauren and I have already started talking about finding replacements for us. And that conversation began in, I guess, the spring. So we're definitely thinking about it. We understand that we only have so much longevity. And so we're definitely thinking about how to thoughtfully replace our positions and make sure that other students can do the same. Another really important thing is definitely the resource guide that we're making. So we want to make sure that all the knowledge we've gained transfers on to other people who are trying to start these organizations, and that'll be part of our website. So people will have everything at their disposal, and they don't need us per se as individuals. We understand that things work differently at every school, so the resource guide is not going to be perfect for everyone, but we want to give people a good starting place to start thinking about how they would kind of implant that organization into their university.
Thank you. I know Jennifer Gonzalez asked if we, thank you for that link, if we have internship opportunities for, I think it's for Bonner students she's referring to. As of right now, all of our facilitators are volunteers, which we're so grateful for them because it is a lot of work, but I think everyone really sees the mission of doing so. With that being said, I wouldn't be opposed to that. That is not the case for right now. That is interesting. And I think we have been talking about how we can reward facilitators for doing all the work that they're doing. And that we can look into that. That's not the case right now, but I'm not opposed. Thank you guys. Are there any more questions? I know that we're over time. It will allow us for like a little bit over 15 minutes after the session has ended. So around 1:15, it will shut us out. Sorry for taking more of your time than you planned for, but are there any more questions that you guys have?
I do have a question on how you used the Excel spreadsheet as you got people's identity and different things along those lines. What was your process of assigning individuals to different groups? I know this is more of a practical question, but I think that would be very, very beneficial to figure out.
Yeah, so for us, for the first discussion, based on the pushback we were getting from a lot of people, we assumed we'd get around 50 people. So we had a spreadsheet of on paper, and we asked people as they came in, like, hi, I'm Lauren, identify as a Black female. We wrote, I think Lauren, Black female on the sheet, and then we separated. So like, we put like a Black female in one group, a Black female in the second group, Black female in the third group, and a white female we put in the first group, second group, and the third group. So as people came in and cycled in, we had multiple people doing that process at the table. And when they came in, we just said, hi, Lauren, go to table 1. And then that's all they saw. Like they introduced themselves and they went to table 1. But as for our work, we were just dividing people as they came in the door. It actually will be better for quarantine style. We have a discussion, we're trying to plan for a summer discussion, which we would invite you guys to if you guys are interested. Where we will send a survey out for people who are interested to RSVP, and then we will actually organize them beforehand, send out individual links for the facilitator groups. So that'll be like a little bit more organized and practical. Moving forward, we talked about potentially making people RSVP beforehand so that we can go ahead and organize the groups in a spreadsheet before they even come to the group, and they would get the table assignment before they come in the door, if that makes sense.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. And we didn't want to profile people, so that's what we made sure to ask them how they identify, because we thought that was really important to like be racially conscious of what we're doing. So we asked people like, how do you identify racially or culturally, and that's how we grouped them.
Yeah, it was also helpful. We had a bunch of students who were there volunteering, kind of working the front desk and things. That was something that was super, super important because we had a huge influx of people that we were not expecting at all. So we had people that were kind of in the main room where the discussion was, and then we had people sitting at the tables. And so those people were kind of working together, helping direct people to their seats and things like that. So it really kind of required a larger support staff than what you see here. There are people that were volunteering who weren't facilitators. People were just kind of all over the place at that point in time. It was kind of organized chaos because, again, we were overwhelmed with the number of people that we had. It was a good problem to have, but yeah, we had a system in place that would have worked had things not gone much larger than we would have expected.
We were very blessed with our attendees.
Yes.
Yeah, we had like riddles in place. We also do things we didn't have time today, but we also do like icebreakers so people can kind of break down the barriers between each other before they start talking about race and inequality, which we did riddles for the first time. So we had table numbers with riddles on them, facilitators at each table, and that was around that was what we had for around like 100 people, and we had around 200 people. So we had to just go with the flow. I like to thank our facilitators again for being so flexible with us for our first discussion. We were really grateful for them. Are there any more questions? If you guys have some more questions as well, you can fill out the link and we can email you guys responses to questions. I think that's a good way since we are running out of time.
Yeah. And also, we will have that resource section, as we mentioned, on our website with the kind of guide for building Interpoint and things like that. And so that will probably also answer some of your logistical questions as well. So definitely be on the lookout for when that website launches. We're hoping to have it up running in a couple of weeks. It's really, really beautiful. We've seen a preview. And so we're super excited about that. So definitely stay tuned, and you'll probably get more of those kind of like frequently asked questions type sort of information on the website.
Yes. We wanted to close it with us challenging you guys, even if you're not interested in Interpoint or taking it to your university, we do challenge you to keep the conversations going, to challenge those around you, and to share with others what you learned today. I want to thank everyone for coming. If you guys want to peel off, people have already been peeling off, but if you want to stay back, if they'll allow you to, we will stay here for more questions. But thank you guys. We challenge you, and we're thankful that you came to meet us today. Yay.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Great job, everybody. Good to see you all.